Hello all, myself Dr. Shanti Verma. In today's tutorial I am going to discuss modules in Python programming language. Let's first discuss the learning objective of this session. At the end of this session you are able to understand different ways to import modules in Python program, use of creating modules in Python programming and creation and uses of Python package or library. Let's first discuss what is a module. A module is nothing just a .py file or .python file containing Python definitions, functions, variables, classes and statements. Basically a Python package is a directory of the Python module. While a library is a collection of the various packages, there is no difference between the library or the Python package, but the library is used to loosely describe a collection of core and main modules. Now let's discuss components of a module. Basically, a module is a file that contains a Python code. The Python program comprises of the three main components. First is a library or package, second is a module, and third is a functions or the submodules. Now let's discuss advantages of modules. The first advantage is the reusability. If you create a one module, you can use that module in various different files. Second is the clarity. If your program is very complex, then it gives the clarity to your code. Next is the classification or the grouping of code. You can create a one category of codes in a one module, so you can classify your code. And if you are doing a code with modular programming, then it is very easy to understand. Now let's discuss the import statement. Python module files have an extension .py and these modules can be imported in the following ways. First is using the import statement, second is using the from statement, and third is using the from star statement. Now let's discuss the import statement. Basically, the import statement is used to include the modules in the in other programs. The syntax for same is import and then the file name. For example, if you want to import the math package or library in your file, then you can write import math. You can also include more than one module using a comma symbol. For importing both math and OS, you can write import math comma OS. Basically, using import statement, you can view all the functions and the other attributes of a particular module. So, if you want to see the functions and the other attributes of a particular module, you can write the dir and pass the module name. As an example, I pass here a math. Now let's discuss import module using the from statement. Basically, importing module can be done using the from statement and the specific attributes can be included in the other programs. For example, if you want to only import the square root function of the math module, then you can write from math import math.sqrt. Now let's discuss the from start statement. Basically, the from start statement can be used to import all names from the module in the current column namespace. The syntax for same is from file name import start. For example, if you want to import all the functions of the math library, then you can write from math import start. And for using the sqrt function, you can write math.sqrt and the value pass in the as a parameter. Basically, you can access any functions of math library using the dot notation. Now let's discuss basically how to use module name as an alias. If the module names are very lengthy, so for using all the functions of the particular module, you have to write full module name dot the function name. So in place of that, we can also use an alias name. For using alias name, the syntax is import file name as alias name. For example, if you want to write m as place of math, then you can write import math as m. And for using the sqrt function, you can write m.sqrt. Now let's discuss a package. Basically, a Python packages are the collection of the related modules, and you can import a package or create a own package. The main difference between a module and a package is that is a collection of the modules and has the .init file. Now let's discuss a package. Basically, a Python package is a simply directory of Python modules. So let's take one example. First step is to create a directory named geometry. Second is to add modules area.py and volume.py within the folder geometry. And third step is to create a init.py in the directory geometry. This is the structure. Geometry is a folder, and within the geometry folder there are two modules, that is the area.py and volume.py. Now let's discuss how the folder is created. For creating a folder, you can first import OS, and in the OS you can use a mkdir function. This mkdir function is used to create a folder. You can also create a folder using a Windows. The second step is to create an area module. In this file, I want to calculate the area of a rectangle. So I create one function, that is a def rectangle area, and passing the two parameter length and breadth, and return as length into breadth. The third is to create a volume module. So in the volume, I want to create a volume of cube. So I pass the variable side, and this is the cube volume is a side cube. So I return side into side into side. Now let's discuss what is a dunder init dunder.py file. Basically, it is a simple file used to consider directories on the disk as a package of Python, and it is basically used to initialize the Python package. Now let's discuss how to create a init file. Basically, in init file you have to write the directory structure of the area and the volume module. So here you can see that I write from area underscore module import rectangle underscore area. It means that in file area underscore module, this function rectangle area is imported, and from the file cube volume, this volume is imported. So it's simply a directory structure. So with the help of this three steps, we can create our own package or library in a Python. For more learning, you can refer these references. Thank you.